RNC Chairman Micheal Steele is here to go on the record, and he's coming out swinging at President Obama. In a new fundraising letter sent to more than 12 million, Chairman Steele calls President Obama arrogant, among other things. RNC Chairman Micheal Steele joins us live. Michael, before we get to the issue of your letter and your remarks about the president, I'm curious about these tea parties. You know, it's hard for me to figure out whether this is a one-time deal, which we've asked people to vote on, or whether this is a real movement. What's your thought?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, Greta, at this point. I think what you're seeing is a realization by a lot of Americans that the president and the Congress in particular have taken a course that they're not crazy about. They're not sure where this is all going. But what they want to make very clear that is that we've had enough with the spending. We've had enough with the mortgaging of our kids' future with debt creation. And this is, I think, a wonderful expression, truly American expression of concern and defiance, if you will, that the bottom line stops with them. They are drawing the line in the sand, as Glenn pointed out at the Alamo, that says this is far enough. We don't want any more of this. We want a fair tax system. We want to make sure that we're paying our fair share. But we think right now the government is beginning to gouge, and we want it stopped, and we want to take a breath from this and let us catch up. Let's begin to trust small businesses again. Let's begin to trust the communities that have built the economy in the past, as opposed to this defiant rush towards the government, by the government to taking greater control, hiring and firing of CEOs, determining the winners and losers in the marketplace. That's not the proper place for the government right now, and I think these tea parties are a way of expressing that.
All right, well, I'm anxious to see tomorrow morning after the dust settles and we can count up the numbers and see the reaction around the country when all the news organizations sort of report in from their communities. All right, let's get to your letter to 12 million.
Well, hey, Greta.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say, on that point, let's not put too much in what the news agencies are going to be reporting. We've witnessed the MSNBCs of the world denigrate these individuals, these men and women who have expressed real concern about where their hard-earned tax dollars are going. We've watched them make fun of them and sort of dismiss them. That's the arrogance that I referred to in the letter that we'll talk about in a moment that have riled people up right now.
And I think that you make a good point. I'm thinking, though, that no matter what, well, at least we get the numbers, and the numbers of the people who actually, hit the streets will have at least be some indicator in terms of how serious this is, maybe. All right, now you're mailing to 12 million people, calling the president arrogant and saying, let me take some. I looked at my notes. That he showed an absence of wisdom on his European tour. Take it away. What did you mean?
How do you go to a foreign soil and criticize the American people and refer to us, our hard work, our concerns about our economy and our futures as arrogant? The fact that we may dissent or disagree doesn't mean we're arrogant. It means that we're smart enough to give a damn. We're smart enough to be concerned by the approach that the administration wants to take on health care, the environment, and the economy. So I was just put off a little bit by this, and it was stunning to me, and I kind of looked at it and said, this is the arrogance of power when you've assumed control of the White House, the Senate, and the House, and you've got the controls of power at your fingertip to make these assumptions and statements about where the American people are and how they feel about your spending of their money.
Michael, were his statements, do you think, were they directed at the American people, or are they really directed at former President Bush? We had Byron York on last night, who said there's this battle going on between the former Bush administration and the current Obama administration, where they're fighting. Was he arrogant, and was he making the arrogant remark in reference to the prior administration or about Americans?
I think this is, look, George Bush is not the president of the United States anymore. And the fact that the current president wants to get involved in a battle with the former president, to me, says a lot. It says that you don't understand what's at stake here for the American people. I don't think that's it. I think they understand exactly what's at stake. I think they want to put in place collectivist policies that strip away individuality, that strip away the individual's decision-making power, and supplant that that with the government making these decisions on our behalf. So I don't buy this, oh, well, we're in this pitch battle with the Bush administration. The Bush administration could care less about this type of battle. They're more concerned, as taxpayers like the rest of us, what this administration, the current administration, is going to do. So when you go to a foreign soil, you don't want to pick a fight with the former president. What's the point in that? It clearly was a statement about the mindset that this administration views the American people have, and we reject that out of hand.
You know, it's sort of interesting that President Bush said that he was the uniter, and I think that President Obama has also said that he's the uniter, and it doesn't seem like anybody's a uniter. It seems like we're very divided in this country.
Well, you know, but I don't think it's a matter of division so much, Greta, as it is the American people are waking up to some harsh realities. Our economy is slowed almost to a stall. Jobs aren't being created. People are losing their homes, and everyone in Washington, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, are pointing fingers at Republicans as if, well, this was your mistake. Yeah, my bad. We made mistakes. But now you have the opportunity to move us in a new direction. And what is that direction? What I call a collectivist mindset that says you as an individual should be more interested in helping the collective. Therefore, we want to decide how much your business should earn. We want to decide who's wealthy and who isn't wealthy. We want to decide who the CEOs and the people who will run the businesses of this country should be. That's not what this is about. This is a free market enterprise system. Put the controls in place that you think best regulate that market, then get out of the way and let us earn our money.
All right, Michael, if you could have 30 seconds alone with President Bush, just the two of you, what are you going to say to him? I mean, President Obama, not the President.
Stop
President
and
Obama.
I say stop and listen to the people. I mean, the folks that are out here right now raising their voice are really concerned. They're not just scared, they're angry. And you need to pay attention, and don't take their sense of change to be something that undermines the core fabric of what this country is all about, which is freedom.
Michael, thank you.